Hi, very good evening. So we had some issues with streaming, so I hope it is streaming fine. Once again, a very good evening, all of you. And hi Kedar, Mukesh, Tanu, Saida, hi Anishma, Animisha, I'm sorry. Okay, Jayant is better. Hi Jayant, Angel, Sam, Madhumita, Bernice, Aman, Abba, Sita, Santosh. Hi Sirisha. Yeah, so I've seen your question, Madhumita. Yes, it's completely a normal feeling. We tend to feel or we tend to forget things which we have revised previously. So that's the reason why I keep on insisting to memorize at the same time to simultaneously revise all the memory based topics so that it will be easy for you to recollect whatever you're studying the day of exam, right? So that's a completely normal feeling and you need not really worry about that, right? So today we'll discuss few key points in microbiology. We have a lot many points to discuss. So we'll do if possible in two parts, right? So the first part, so we'll have the discussion which we have been doing in the same style as we have done it yesterday, right? Hi Neetu, Namrata, Rishabh. Yes, so we'll do it for a maximum of 30-40 minutes and then we will conclude, okay? Right. So first basic question. So as I said, key points in microbiology. Who introduced or who discovered, or more appropriate, who invented microscope? Yes. Hi Deepthi. So we're just starting now, right? So we had issues with streaming, right? So I hope it is streaming fine. So who invented microscope? Hi Prabir. Yes. So it is, the spelling is not so accurate anyways, considered. So it is Anton von Leeuwenhoek, isn't it? Right. Anton von Leeuwenhoek is also considered as father of microbiology, right? Yeah. Okay. So we have various similar questions pertaining to who is father of bacteriology, who is father of microbiology. I guess it's not so important, right, in the exam point of view. Okay. So we have discussed in one of the classes regarding various enzymes and the differences between aerobic, anaerobic and facultative anaerobes, right? We have discussed for some of the differences. So catalase is an enzyme which is predominantly present in which type of bacteria? Catalase. Hi Nandini, good evening. So catalase, an enzyme which converts hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen, right? So this catalase enzyme is predominantly present in which type of bacteria? Aerobic, anaerobic, facultative, anaerobes. No, out of the broad classification we have. Yes, so we have catalase positive and catalase negative, isn't it? So in general, aerobic organisms they are able to survive the oxygen containing environment because of presence of this catalase, which catalyzes the breakdown of hydrogen peroxide, right? So hydrogen peroxide is a major source of oxide free radicals, so which can be harmful for bacteria, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. So anyways, you can refer to that video for more information. So you might have come across this bacterial growth phase. So we have, tell me the different phases in bacterial growth which you all know and remember. So when bacteria are cultured in favorable media, they grow, and we have this bacterial growth curve. So what are all the different stages in bacterial growth curve? Yes, obviously, good. So we have lag phase, log phase, stationary, and phase of decline. So in which phase are antibiotics more effective? So that's one question which was asked previously. Yes, so in which phase are antibiotics more effective? Yes, bactericidal drugs, especially penicillins, they are more effective in case of your log phase, isn't it? So when bacteria are multiplying, then they can have the antibacterial action, bactericidal action. So in which phase there is increase in size of the cell, but not the number of cells? In which phase related to bacterial growth curve? In which phase there is increase in the size of the cell, but not in the number of cells? So try to focus on bacterial growth curve also, right? So we can have a lot many questions. So in which phase do you see increase in size of the cell but not the number of cells? Okay, you're saying a log phase, lag phase, stationary. It's lag phase. In lag phase, the cells are preparing for division. So there will be increase in size but not the number, right? So that's the obvious answer. Good. So obviously exponential growth of cells is seen in case of your log phase, isn't it? Where do you find, in which phase do you find, or which phase is seen because of nutritional exhaustion and toxic accumulation or accumulation of toxic products? So accumulation of toxic products which can be formed as byproducts of metabolism leads to which phase? Yes, Sita. Toxic products accumulation usually leads to decline phase. So if I ask you, like the number of cells which are being formed is equal to the number of cells which are being dead, this is a feature of which phase? Number of cells being formed equivalent to number of cells which are dying. This is seen in which phase? Yes, Sirisha. Shruti, Bernice. Yes, Tabish. Nitu, Sita. Tanu, Nandini, Farheen. Dhanapriya. Nikita. Sairaj, hi. Good, Sairaj. You're joining our live session today. Charuta, Saida. Yes, it is in stationary phase, isn't it? So how do you mainly differentiate obligate aerobes from facultative anaerobes? What is a distinguishing feature between obligate aerobes and facultative anaerobes? Obligate aerobes, facultative anaerobes. So obligate, obviously it means they grow only in presence of oxygen, isn't it? Facultative anaerobes. They are aerobic, yes, but may also survive as Niharika, Bernice, yes, Abish. They also can survive even without the presence of oxygen, isn't it? So what is the meaning of capnophilic bacteria? Capnophilic. Yes, Preeti. Facultative can be may or may not be aerobic. Hi, Prishanti. Yes. So, capnophilic, carbon dioxide utilizing bacteria. Okay. Can you name one bacteria, an example for capnophilic bacteria? Brucellus abortus. Yes. Campylobacter, actinomycetes. Yeah. So capnophiles are those which require high concentrations of carbon dioxide, isn't it? So Campylobacter species, aggregated bacter species, right? And also, you can just make a note of this, Brucellus abortus. So these are aerobic bacteria and capnophilic, right? Hi Sonal, Sophia, good evening. Hi Dhanlakshmi. Okay, carbon dioxide learning, fine. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can go through the video again once, Angel. Yes, Campylobacter, Campylobacter brucellus. Okay, right. So, what does the term psychrophilic mean? Psychrophilic. We already have these questions in our test series. I hope you remember. Psychrophilic bacteria. Okay, right. Psychrophilic, yes, extremely low temperature. Yes, below 20 degrees centigrade. Very good. So mesophilic, obviously 25 to 40 degrees centigrade, right? Okay. Yeah, 25 to 35, 25 to 40. Okay. Which spores do you use for evaluating the efficacy of sterilization procedures? which spores can be used. We have the spore test, if you remember, which spores can be used for evaluating the efficacy of various sterilization procedures or hot air oven. Good. Bacillus stereothermophilus and Clostridium tetani. The spores of these microbes can be used. Good. Yeah. Bacillus stereothermophilus and Clostridium tetani, isn't it? Who introduced the method of vaccination? We have discussed about this gentleman in one of the live sessions also. Who discovered the method of vaccination? Yes, Angel. Leeuwenhoek, Niharika. Anwar says Pasteur. Preeti says Lister, right? Leeuwenhoek microscope, right? Lister chemical asepsis. Antiseptics.
Call from Dr. NEET.
I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Right. So, who is considered as a father? Okay. Who introduced this method of vaccination? Yes, Edward Jenner, isn't it? We had discussed about him in one of the live sessions. Good. And who introduced or who discovered penicillin? Yes, Sita. Yes, Alexander Fleming. Good. Who discovered blood groups? Blood groups. Carl Landsteiner. Landsteiner and students, Aryan says, okay. Okay, fine. So any discovery obviously will have a group of scientists. So which is the means of sterilizing operation theaters? So how do you sterilize operation theaters? Fumigation, UV rays. Okay. Yes. Literally head fumigation or even UV rays. Good. So as we have discussed previously, spores of Bacillus stereothermophilus and Clostridium can be used for evaluating the efficacy of sterilization. And to be in specific, Bacillus stereothermophilus is used for evaluating the efficacy of autoclave sterilization, whereas spores of Clostridium tetani are used for evaluating the efficacy of sterilization of hot air oven. Right? I'll just make a note. Just add up those points as well. Let me just write down here. So Bacillus stereothermophilus. Autoclave efficacy. Clostridium tetani. Hot air oven. And regarding temperatures and all, we have discussed previously, isn't it? In one of the e-classes, recorded videos. Good. Fine. So we still have a lot of interesting points. So how are immunoglobulins synthesized? Which cells synthesize immunoglobulins? Niharika, don't waste your time remembering all the interleukins. Only main interleukins which are involved or depending upon the question or previous question papers. You just try to focus on maybe one or two, that's it. But don't go ahead with all the numbering systems now, right? It's not worth it. Yes, very good. So as you all rightly said, plasma cells do contribute, yes, to various immunoglobulins, right? So we have discussed about immunoglobulins in detail previously. So we'll have a few points pertaining to that. Yeah, half-life, serum concentrations, that's all fine. So which immunoglobulin has the longest half-life? Immunoglobulin with the longest half-life. Good. Yes, as Lopamudra said, ER of your plasma cells. Good. So immunoglobulin, wow, Neosha even remembers the dates. That's quite impressive. So IgG, yes, Sirisha, very good. So IgG is the immunoglobulin with the longest half-life. Which is a major immunoglobulin that's present in secretions? Yes, Priyanka. It's also called as warm immunoglobulin. Thank you for adding up the point. Immunoglobulin which is present in secretions. Isn't it? As you all rightly said. Yes, it is IgA. Good. So which immunoglobulin plays a role in immunity, local immunity, against respiratory and intestinal organisms? Which immunoglobulin plays a role in local immunity against respiratory and intestinal organisms? If I ask you another question, you will not answer me by giving another immunoglobulin. It's IgA. It protects the intestinal and respiratory surfaces. Secretions, the same. IgE is for hypersensitivity reactions and parasitic infections, isn't it? Yes, it's IgA, okay? Most of you said IgE, so it is again secretory IgA. Good Priyanka, and few of you who answered it well. Anyways, don't worry, right? I have noted a few things there today and yesterday. While I was going through my papers of students, what I noticed is the first thing, we are in a hurry to answer the question first. But let me just take 2 minute time here and let me just remind you once again, it's not that you don't know, but we all need to get reminded once and for all. See, the fact here is, go through your questions at least twice, right? So before answering it, so read your question, including options at least twice, and then go ahead and answer. Most of the questions which we make errors, we know the right answers, but the thing is, maybe because of in hurry, maybe because of stress, because of other unwanted factors, we tend to go wrong. And on top of this, because of negative marking, we are even more afraid. to answer. So just make sure that negative marking is for your good. It's to eliminate luck and to have better competition all over. So if in case when you're trying to answer, when you're sure about the answer, there is no issue with that. But if you can eliminate at least two options as we have discussed previously, you can take the risk, give the benefit of doubt, and go ahead answering the questions. If in a particular question among four options, if you can rule out two options, the other two, obviously you can take a calculated risk. But if you can rule out only one option, if you feel that only one option is not the answer, and if you have a doubt in the rest three options, better leave the question. Because what I'm seeing and reviewing is, it's even though you're trying to score good number of questions right, but because of negative marking, you're being pulled down. So make sure that doesn't happen. Maybe you lose 1 or 2% of marks, which is acceptable because of negative marking, but don't let your percentages fall, right? So if you're confident, go ahead answer. If you can go risk answering a question if you can rule out at least two options, right? We have already discussed that previously. And how do you get that confidence whether to answer or not? Because most of you might be having that ambiguity, like among all the questions which we face, we feel like the answer is in two options always. So the best way to eliminate it is there is no magic here. It's all about repeated revision. So that's the reason why, as I mentioned even yesterday, the moment you start having notes, the moment you start following your notes, the moment you get reinforced with the concepts which you already are thorough with, then you can answer any questions from those topics with confidence, and that is the key. So this coming 2 days, make sure that you focus on revision. Try go through your notes as many times as possible and practice our GT grand test papers and revise those papers once again. And most importantly, see to that you cover as many memory-based topics as possible, isn't it? Because no matter how many times you have covered previously, you might not have that in your memory fresh. So only once you revise, you'll have them in your memory again, and then you can answer any questions if it is from a memory-based topic, right? So just keep these inputs in mind. Don't stress yourself much. And as I said, as I told most of you, try watching one movie at least every day, starting from yesterday, but at least if you're not following it, at least starting from today, try watching one movie, right? Try to stay relaxed. And the more relaxed you are, the better you're going to perform on the day of exam. Take it very seriously, and you can note down this sentence, right? Seriously. The more relaxed you stay, the better you're going to perform. And having stress or feeling stress or having that fear is not going to help you in any way possible. It's not at all going to help you. In fact, that's going to harm you, have a negative impact on your entire exam, that's for sure. So the more relaxed you try to stay, the more calm, the better you're going to perform. And just keep these things in mind, right? Subject and all, these 2 days, you can't really make much difference. You can't make even 1% difference in your preparation. It's not just about these 2 days. It's all about how you have been preparing for the last few months or maybe few years, right? Marjoti reaction. I haven't heard of it, Rajput. If you have any questions, you can drop in it, right? Yeah. Yes, Sita, go through microbiology textbook, you'll find the answer, right? Yeah. So if you had answered various questions, or if you had gone through Grand Test 3, we have various questions, image-based questions on cultural media, right? I know it's very challenging to answer this question, so we try to incorporate as many cultural media-based, image-based questions as possible, right? So just go through your Grand Test 3 once again, and all the Grand Tests possible. Okay. Which movie? Do you want me to suggest a movie also, right? Any movie which you love. Okay. So as Harika said, go for 3 idiots, right? Okay. How would you differentiate between enriched media and enrichment media? enriched and enrichment media. And if you remember, just try to give some examples also. Enrich or enrichment? Enriched media in the sense, okay, we'll try answering, we'll see. Yes, best notes, you can drop a mail, right? We can discuss that over mail. Yes. Yeah, obviously enriched media. Yes, very good, Rajput. Preeti, Neetu, Niharika. Yes. So enriched media is a normal media which contains some nutrients. It can be blood agar or it can be your egg, anything which enriches the media, which favors the growth of several bacteria or several bacterial colonies. Whereas enrichment media is something which selectively allows growth of one species of bacteria, right? So that's the difference between your enriched and enrichment media, and we have several examples. And have you heard of Robertson's cooked meat media? So Robertson's cooked meat media is a type of which media does it come under? So we have different types of media like indicator, differential, transport, anaerobic media. So Robertson's cooked meat media falls under which category? Yes, anaerobic, and also it's useful in transporting, isn't it? Yeah, anaerobic transport media. Good. Which immunoglobulin is mostly intravascular? Media which is mostly intravascular. IgD. IgD is mostly intravascular. We have 5 immunoglobulins, MAD engineering girls, MAD, EG, or GAMED. You can remember in your own format. Which immunoglobulin protects body fluids? Which protects body fluids, not the secretions, body fluids. Yes, it is IgG. Right? Okay, good. Yes, as one of you said, Ig is also produced in the lining of respiratory and intestinal tracts, but usually defense mechanism exhibited on the microorganisms which are produced along the respiratory and intestinal tracts is by IgA. Anyways, do refer and let me know if at all there is any change in this, right? So both IgA and IgE, as one of you rightly said, as most of you I think you answered it as IgE, right? So even IgA has a role in protecting the respiratory as well as intestinal tracts. Yes, Sita, thank you. Yes, Farheen, it will be confusing if you are hearing it for the first time. If it is like revision, then it will be very simple. Because you might have already reinforced the concept, you are just trying to brush up all that you have studied so far, isn't it? So which immunoglobulin is first? It's only a matter of perception. Let me tell you, for Keen and Kurwell, it's only a matter of perception. It seems to be confusing, but so don't see, that's the reason why we're trying to do subject wise now. I'm not trying to give you all subjects combined because you might have that feeling. No, it's not confusing, it's only a matter of perception, right? Yes, Niharika, which point you're mentioning about, I didn't get you. Yeah, I'm asking you like, which is the first antibody that's produced in response to any infection? Yes, good. IgM. So the first formed and which immunoglobulin crosses placenta? You might have heard of HDNB, hemolytic disorder of newborn, right? Erythroblastosis fetalis, because of transfer of, yes, IgG. IgG is the one which crosses the placenta. Good, fine. So we have discussed this previously. Name the proteins which coagulate when heated to 60 degrees centigrade and redissolve at 80 degrees centigrade. We have discussed about these proteins previously and also several questions which are seen in multiple myeloma. Yes, Preeti? Yes, Rh negative mother and Rh positive fetus. Yes. So bench-joint proteins, isn't it? So these have the property of precipitating at 45 to 55 degrees centigrade, around 60, and they redissolve upon boiling. So these are some of the features of bench-joint proteins. Okay, fine. Of all the lymphoid organs, can you name some lymphoid organs which you know? Lymphoid organs. No, they coagulate or precipitate burners. At 60 degrees, it's mentioned that they coagulate or precipitate and they redissolve at 80 degrees centigrade. Thymus, it is not seen even after maturity, right? Malt, I think it's in case of, okay, right, because associated lymphoid tissue. Yeah. Spleen. Spleen is considered to be a major lymphoid organ. Right. So we have macrophages. So macrophages present in different areas have different names. So macrophages which are present in liver are called as macrophages in liver. Yes, good. Hepatocytes are normal cells, right? Yeah, normal stromal cells. Yeah, Kupffer cells. Good. Okay. Now, macrophages in lungs are called as macrophages in lungs. Now, heart failure cells are different. Where do you find heart failure cells? We're discussing key points in pathology. Heart failure cells, gamma antibodies, nutmeg liver. So all these are features which are seen in which condition? Good, CVC, right? Chronic venous congestion. So CVC spleen, nutmeg liver, CVC lungs, you have these gamma antibodies. Yeah, CVC lung, we have these heart failure cells, and spleen, gamma antibodies, liver, nutmeg liver, right? Yeah. So, heart failure cells, they are seen in chronic venous congestion. Okay, let's not bring them here, right? In case of chronic venous congestion, in case of lungs, you have this heart failure cells, not in heart but in lungs, and you have your nutmeg liver. Nutmeg is nothing but a nut. You just Google Jayafal nut. So it resembles the dark and light areas, the cut section of liver, nutmeg liver. And spleen, you have this gamma antibodies, hemosiderin deposited macrophages. So come to this. Lungs, macrophages in lungs, alveolar macrophages. Okay. Fine. Now, macrophages in spleen. Macrophages in spleen. Yes, Priyanka, you say it's simple to remember, but sinus histiocytes. Sinus histiocytes. And tissue fixed macrophages are called as histiocytes. Hi, Priti. Okay. So as Niharika, you asked previously regarding interleukins. Okay, you can just make a note of a few interleukins which have a few important functions. So interleukin, which helps in proliferation and differentiation of T and B cells. Interleukin, which helps in proliferation and differentiation of T and B cells. Interleukin 1. You just make a note. Yeah. Yeah, interleukin 1 has a role in proliferation and differentiation of T and B cells. And interleukin, which helps in proliferation of B cells and cytotoxic T cells and enhances MHC class 2, major histocompatibility class 2. It is IL-4. So IL-4. Interleukin, which helps in chemotactic response. Interleukin, which helps in this chemotactic response is exhibited by neutrophils in phagocytosis, if you remember. So interleukin, which helps in neutrophil chemotactic response, IL-8. Yes, Priyanka, good. So neutrophil chemotaxis. Interleukin, which induces acute phase proteins, IL-11. In case of inflammation, IL-11 induces formation of acute phase proteins. Interleukins which activate NK cells, natural killer cells, IL-12. So interleukin which activates natural killer cells, IL-12. Interleukin that inhibits mononuclear functions, IL-13, finally. Okay. We are all zero. We'll definitely end up being hero, Dr. BA. Don't worry. We all start with zero. And in fact, zero is not inferior. Zero is something which is a greatest contribution given by Aryabhatta, isn't it? So today's zero is tomorrow's hero. Yes, it's from India, Aryabhatta. Yes, I'm telling you with experience, even I'm zero. It doesn't mean that I'm hero now. I'm still zero in many aspects. We all are. We still have chance to improve in our own respective fields which we chose, isn't it? Okay, fine. So it's already 51 minutes, right? So we'll stop it here. We'll take some break. We'll again see you at 8:30. We'll come back with the second part. We still have a lot many points to discuss, right? Farheen is always ready to pull my leg. I don't know why. Well said, Bernice. We're all heroes. We're all heroes in our respective lives, isn't it? If I say hero again, it's biased, gender bias. We're all heroes and heroines respectively in our own lives. Okay, right. So I think we discussed also in general regarding how to approach and all. So again, we'll have a general live session. So Saturday, let's not have any academic discussion. So day after tomorrow, Saturday, let's have only one major and a longer 1.5 to 2 hour general live session. And I'll share all my experiences on the final day of exam with you. And I'm sure it will help you enormously, right? Yes, Gitu Rani, Kedar, Preeti, yes, sure. I'll definitely add up these subjects. We still have a few more live sessions till tomorrow. Right. So we have one chief guest who will be attending our live session in 2 minutes. So just give me 2 minutes, right? Chief guest. So say hi to everyone. Show your face. Where are heading your face? Yes. We'll go ahead with micro part 2 at 8:30 and we'll stop micro by 9:30, right? 11:30 we'll come up with another new subject. So I'm kissing Toffee on all your behalf, right? Toffee, you know what's happening, Toffee? You can see here. Toffee. No, Toffee, if you cut the hair, it will not be aesthetic. It's like saying that she's a girl, right? So how can you cut a girl's hair? Saida, you're too harsh. Toffee, say hi. Sita, you want me to be on time. Usually I delay my live sessions by 5-10 minutes, max 15 minutes. But today, because of streaming issues, we couldn't come on time. Anyways, let's try to be at 8:30, right? 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. max, right? Okay then. See you at 8:30 p.m. Toffee, say bye. Ask them to have dinner and come fast. And also wish them all the best, Toffee. Okay then. Okay guys, bye. Yeah, we'll have micro part 2 at 8:30. Yeah, see you again. So in the meantime, go ahead with your revision and you can join me again at 8:30, 8:45. We'll have for another 30-40 minutes max. Bye. And in the meantime, I'll be calling few of you. So please keep your phones in general mode, right? Yeah.